Ooh. Oh!
All right, we're starting off today's film session with the solo artist IU and her title track, Lilac, off of her 5th studio album titled also Lilac. So through this album, IU embraces the symbolism of lilac flowers as memories of youth to bid an emotional farewell to her 20s and say a hopeful hello to her 30s. So some background information on IU. She debuted as a soloist when she was only 15 years old. She was forced to grow up under a magnifying glass as she struggled with her identity. But with this album, she's ready to say goodbye to that time in her life as she continues growing as a person and as an artist.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
The song is composed by Im Soo-ho, Dr. Jo, Kim Nico, it's N exclamation point K-O, and the lyrics are written by her.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, I already love this, like, beginning. Look at this. Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1. I like this set. This shows her past albums, probably, judging by the date. Cool.
Ooh. Very personal.
She looks like a freshman walking into college for the first time, like excited, rosy cheeked,
What a fun little
bright-eyed.
soundscape you have.
I like this, just this solid bass, muted bass sound.
It's so smooth. Her voice, but it's like so articulated at the same time.
That guitar is nice.
Ooh. Ooh.
So slidey.
I feel like the instrumentation is very like glossy and very like glitzy.
This song sounds like lilac flower petals.
Ooh. The little bit of bend on that spring.
Plot twist, there's a zombie outbreak in the train.
The guitar strumming, like, that's super nice. Ooh, and the horns. Nice 80s style production stuff. And with the funk bass. Now a grand piano.
Oh, the addition. Oh my god, it's him!
Oh, she just punched somebody.
Also, I think there was a little piano riff that's probably a reference to one of her old songs.
Oh, damn, get it, girl. Yeah.
I love that. Very delicious.
Yeah, it's really high guitar panning left and right. Like the high notes are just like super ethereal.
Nice call and response between the and then the da 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 da.
Oh.
Ooh, those 80s synth hits for the bridge.
She's having her anime glow up right now. Having her anime glow up. Literally.
Yeah. Ready to surrender her past into the future.
It's really interesting because her voice is so clear, but as she goes more into like a chest tone, it doesn't lose any of that clarity.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
Ooh, love that alto sax in the back.
The string synth and glockenspiel reverb sound is really nice. That makes the atmosphere match really well.
No.
Oh, there's more.
Hey, that's the guy that was playing the sax.
Yeah. Wait, so they just left without her, or they dropped her off and now she's sad?
So it did happen. It's not a dream because she took something out of her hair.
Lilac train. It's the Polar Express.
I was just gonna say that.
It's gonna cut. It's gonna end. Train's gonna arrive, or it's gonna pass, it's gonna end. Does she get on? Does she not? The tension, right?
Oh, she looks
Look at the camera. And this subtle smile at the end, the realization, it all comes full circle.
It says something at the end.
What, does it? I think
Yeah.
Spring is short, but it comes again.
Oh,
Spring is short, but it comes again. Wow, the new chapter, you know? She lived the 20s of the grandiose adventure. You know, spring is short. The spring of your life is arguably your 20s, but it does come again because, you know, it ain't over when you're 30. Wait a minute. She's onto something here.
You sounded like a poet just now. You're like speaking truth into existence.
Dude, I'm not speaking truth. Like, she spoke all the truth. I'm just the messenger for IU
Wow!
right now.
Oh my God!
I'm
He
just the
keeps
messenger.
going. He just keeps going.
Something that I appreciated about the song was that it did not rely heavily on the drums for rhythm. The drums were like a foundation, but the bass and the guitar were very emphasized for their rhythmic values and their differentiation against the drum beat pattern. So I thought that was really sick. And there was a lot of sonic things that they were doing with the guitar, where it was almost like incredibly high, like notes, but they were kind of panning left to right in rhythmic ways that I thought was really cool. I thought that just the layering of like, and I said it, like the glockenspiel, the strings, and like there was a synth, like the layering of those to create kind of just kind of a cascading counter melody almost. That was very reminiscent and paid a bit of an homage to like once again, kind of like Quincy Jones style. To kind of have like this classic funk bass going on and these sounds and instrumentations and styles that are super standard funk. She's looking back and creating almost like then in her mind now, as she's looking, is like a futuristic funk sense. That's like, she's using this kind of genre in this sonic area to help her move forward, you know? So it's pretty cool.
It definitely felt like warm and, yeah, I felt like the spring. I thought of this as like spring going into summer. Maybe that's like 20s going into 30s.
Oh,
Something
true.
like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you talked about this song sounding like a bunch of perhaps flower petals fluttering around. What musical elements makes you visualize that?
It's the like higher register, the motion of falling, and then like the rising up. It's just, and then like the instruments. There was like a second of trumpets somewhere in there. There was like the saxophone at the end. They kind of like switched out the instruments, but it also had like that 80s kind of vibe going off in the back. But it was so light, and like her voice, of course, is just so effortless. So I thought, yeah, it really paints a really nice picture of like a lilac color for me.
Consistently, I'm so impressed by IU's vocal flexibility, how she's able to, like, I feel like all of her songs are just like a wash of a beautiful thematic soundscape with her voice front and center floating right on top of it, and it's beautiful. It's so nice to like, there's always such a good blend of sound.
And that, ooh, like, I don't think that was in the right key, but like that, it feels like a nice little gentle breeze. It really does. Oh, I really like it.
It manages to be sort of lyrical while also being a very funky song because of her vocals. And I feel like every time I listen to it, I'll gravitate towards one side a little more than the other. And I love that.
And I think also she has such vocal abilities that in the chorus, when she went da 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 da, or maybe was it da 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 or ba da da, or either a tenth or an octave. Either way, huge leap. But
And then she jumps to an F.
ya ya da da.
Yeah, which is also super nice.
Also really great. Overall, the group was really good. Her lyricism and the vocals were fantastic. I also felt like it was gonna resolve to the one at some point, but it kept resolving not to 6, but to 4, which is like even more removed. But also it felt more satisfying because it's a major tonality too.
That's why it took me a while to locate the key. I'm like,
Right.
I know what chords they are, but like, which key is it?
But you do feel grounded in F because the guitar
It's pretty
playing.
grounded in F.
Yeah, for sure. Just just forever.
I love how it opens up into the chorus. Lilac. And cause like it goes higher into a register, it's very light. And then like she hits you with that chromaticism from like 5 sharp 5 6. Ooh, it's so cute.
At first, that C sharp, it kind of make me surprised. But I don't really think that's necessary though. Like, I think it can be just like C, C, D, or like C, D, D.
Da 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 instead of da da da. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
I think it adds a little bit more color, don't you think? Because it's almost like she curves through it, right? Slides through it.
Yeah. Probably because I listen to too much American music and jazz. Their composition technique tend to really put diatonic melodies on the vocals or like the main melody, and then do really weird things at bottom. Like the counter
so
melody.
This is like the opposite, right?
Yeah, like counter melody will be usually really chromatic and atonal, but not the melody.
That's interesting. I
Yeah.
never thought of it that way.
Yeah, like if you listen to Jacob Collier, like Moon River, for example, that Moon River is totally diatonic, but like the reharmonization that he did is just crazy.
Yeah, I wonder what this song would sound like if we keep the melody diatonic and then have the reharm underneath.
Yeah, that would be
places.
super cool. And also there's a part pre-chorus, I think is pretty cool. It's like there's a chord, it's like, what's that called? Like that chord is really beautiful. I think it's because the guitar just keep playing the F. So that's why there's that thing. But the second time is just like normal 7th chord. Yeah.
Yeah, musically, I kind of wanted it to go to more different like textures and things like that. Kind of felt more static throughout than some of the other ones that I've heard. But the visual was just so entertaining, and it just fit the lilac so well with the costume and everything.
To be honest, can I say like the choreography? I felt like it was like musical theater, you know. But I don't know. It played really well on what was there like rhythmically, but it like launches right away with like the you know what I mean. It's a little more acoustic, and then it goes into something like completely different. Like the groove starts, you know. Like there's like a pre-groove moment. So that was kind of cool how it transitioned. It catches your attention and takes you in, and then I think the message is clearly there at the end, just in terms of what they did with the video. And that last glance right at you, you're like, oof, I know it. You know what she's thinking, like what she's feeling. Yeah. Oof.
What would you say your favorite moment of the song was?
I think when it all starts to like come together, because you have that like that blossoming sound. You hear that early on, but you don't get to experience it visually and story-wise until later. And then you have that confetti at the end. You have everyone literally blossoming like with the chorus, right? Like again, just the layers sonically, story-wise, choreography-wise, just when all three elements come together, that creates a really heightened experience. That's probably my favorite, you know.
And like at the end, as you're talking about, it's hinting that it's coming back again, because she's left in the dark and, you know, she's taking out these confetti out of her hair, and then she looks towards this new future and she doesn't know exactly what that train looks like, or, you know, we don't know what it is, but when she smiles at the end, she knows there is another blossom, that there is going to be another blossoming, whatever it looks like.
Every day we live is a day closer to death. Sad. Hopeful though, because on to new adventures and chapters, right? But scary in her face, because she's scared seeming. But she should smile at the end, because she should be excited. Oh no, smile! Yay! There you go. Sorry.